thing now where there's so many slots. It's like you've almost got a full card of main eventers, and in a way, it's a lot of it is part timers. That's what it comes down to. I mean, they're not even regular guys, and most of the regular talent, unfortunately, are in those matches that we're talking about. I mean, you know, if you look at last year, for instance, as a classic example, you know, Brock Lesnar and Dean Ambrose, you know, there's one in that, and then you've got Roman Reigns and Triple H, there's another in that. Shane and Taker, both of them. There's a lot of guys that are not regular fixtures that are getting the big spots. You know, if you want to take it even further, you look at what The Rock does when he comes into a WrestleMania. You know, that's such a long time that he took up last year just to announce you know, what it was that he was doing. You know, that massive fire thing that he threw out and lighting his name up, and then, you know, what a nightmare that was for the Wyatt family. But it's that kind of thing, Matt, where you just feel like they need to kind of go back to their roots a little bit, and maybe just it would be nice just to see, you know, maybe 1 or 2 singles matches or a tag team match where it's all about the full-time guys. But I'm very, very doubtful that we'll get either on that one. I mean, even if you look at the tag team fiasco of last year, Matt, it still had to have HBK, Mick Foley, and who else was it that come out? I can't remember now. Austin, of course. And that was their moment, you know. So there's always like these things that sort of go over that, and it's not really about them. But I would personally like to see them sort of more go back to how they used to do it. What do you think, Matt? Will we ever get back to that time, or do you think they're so, you know, on this whole the main attraction business now that we're probably not going to get that?
You know, I think we won't get that for a while, but these big names they keep bringing back won't be around forever. They can't always pull a Sting out of nowhere. They can't always pull a Goldberg. Sooner or later, these Undertakers and that, they're going to retire, you know, and they're not going to come back. And then they'll have no other choice but to actually go with their younger talent, you know. I think the crop that they're building up now, although we have top superstars in people like, you know, Seth and Dean and Roman and all that, like, they won't be at that iconic level that Austin and The Rock is to want to like spend millions just to bring them back for a one-off match. So I think it would be great when that actually time comes around, but unfortunately I don't see it being for quite a few years yet.
Yeah, no, totally agree with you there. Yeah, so that wraps everything up. Thank you for everybody who sent in those questions. Quite a lot of different varieties there. As always, and we are, for a change, Matt, we're going to end on time. Just going over an hour on this episode, which is normally what we do produce. But of course, there's been so much going on in the past few weeks, and what with our retrospective series and all the rest of it. And of course, our review of the Royal Rumble last week. So I guess, Matt, you know, we're already in February, in fact. So we've got, you know, the best part of 2 pay-per-views here, you know, coming up in the next few months, and then of course WrestleMania. You know, we spoke earlier, Matt, about, you know, the changes that it could be. Do you expect? I mean, I suppose with tonight with Goldberg, we'll probably announce, but would you expect anything like, I know last year we had Shane coming back in the middle of all this. Will that be the Finn Balor point, do you think, this year?
Yeah, I think sooner or later, like, Finn Balor's like due back any time, so that's got to be an impact moment at some point. I'm not sure when they're going to actually do that, but I am looking forward to his return. You know, I'm not too sure they can afford to do too many surprises before WrestleMania. It's all looking pretty like set as far as a lot of people go, but you know, I can only hope, you know, because it's good to actually have a little bit of unknown leading into it. Yeah,
totally agree. Matt, thank you as always for joining us on the podcast tonight.
No, of course, yeah, it was great.
And thank you for all the listeners. And don't forget, if you want to get in touch with the show, email us in at the Wrestling Skull Podcast at gmail.com. We'll try and get to your questions. And if I don't read them out, I always tend to manage to get back to you guys via an email, a little reply there. So yeah, always worth writing in. And until next week, have a great week, folks.